Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Before I am taking the lesson Long Walk to Freedom, which is written by Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela of class 10th, I am going to give a gist of this lesson. South Africa, मुल्कस नाव अति रोजान वाइट स्टेज रोजान ब्लैक स्टेज रोजान यम वाइट स्टेज यम कम तादाद मज माइनॉरिटी मज यम ब्लैक स्टेज यम मेजॉरिटी मज मेजॉरिटी आसन बावजूद वाइट पे हुक्मरानी करान इवन दो दे वर इन मेजॉरिटी मगर वाइट से कम तादाद में मगर इन पे हुक्मरानी करान किस कालस कर हुक्मरानी 300 years means 3 centuries they ruled over whites ruled over blacks in hate kara whites is in hate kara. What was the sin was they were blacks, that is why they were looked down upon by the whites. ब्याह पॉइंट उसी चीज की इमिग्रेशन तुम राइट्स की वाइट्स राइट्स इमिग्रेशन तुम हुकूक बराबर दिमा की तुम पते 10th May 1994 at the elections there started a democratic process at the election of patis banya I think first black president this was now Nelson Mandela. The first black president बनिया इस आई थी बेग डिस्क्रिमिनेशंस इस आई थी भेदभाव सुकरिंग खत्म. The discrimination was completely over between the whites and the blacks and they were treated equally. Whitest blacks I treat करना equally. मतलब वो there was no discrimination. Now you see discrimination was so they did खत्म. Yes students, I want to tell you one more important point related to the previous paragraph. On 10th May, South Africa showed its strength and power, just as our country, India, shows its strength and power on Independence Day. The second important point that I want to tell you, dear students, Nelson Mandela believed in democracy, justice and equality, just as the great leader of our country, Mahatma Gandhi, believed in democracy, justice and equality. Let's take the new part of the lesson. On the day of inauguration, I was overwhelmed with a sense of history. In the first decade of the 20th century, a few years after the bitter Anglo-Boer War and before my own birth, the white-skinned people of South Africa patched up their difference and erected a system of racial domination against the dark-skinned people of their own land. On the day of inauguration means and there was an inauguration of a new democratic government in South Africa and Nelson Mandela was overwhelmed means, dear students, he remembered all the past events that have led up to that moment. In the first decade of the 20th century, I want to clear you what means decade, dear students. Decade means 10 years. Decade means 10 years. 10 years make a decade. In the first decade of the 20th century, a few years after the bitter Anglo-Boer War. It was a war that was fought between the British Empire and the two independent states, the South African Republic and Orange Free States. This was war which was fought between them. That is called Anglo-Boer War. And before my own birth and before his own birth, the white-skinned people of South Africa patched up their differences. The white-skinned people, they patched up in the differences that they have among them. That they patched up and erected a system of racial domination. They erected a system, a new system that they erected there in South Africa, that is racial domination. That means they dominate, the whites dominate, they rule over the blacks, the dark skinned people, blacks of their own land. Own land in South Africa, both whites and the blacks, they live in South Africa but there was a system which was erected by the whites, and that is racial domination. Racial domination means they dominate, the whites dominate over the blacks of their own land. The structure they created formed the basis of one of the harshest. The structure they created there in South Africa, and how it looked? It looked harshest. Harshest means, dear students, serious. Harshest means serious. Serious. Most inhuman means most cruel system. Societies the world has ever known, that the world has not seen before. Now in the last decade of the 20th century. And this was the system which was created by the whites in the first decade of the century. And what happened in the last decade of the 20th century? And my own 8th decade as a man. What means own 8th decade as a man? 8th decade means he was 80 years old. Nelson, at that time, Nelson Mandela was 80 years old. That system had been overturned forever. The system which was created by the whites, it has been overturned forever by Nelson Mandela and replaced by one that recognized. And there was a new system which was created by Nelson Mandela in place of that system that recognized the rights and freedoms of all people. And the system which was created by Nelson Mandela, it recognizes the rights and freedoms of all people, regardless of their skin means, but without distinction, without any discrimination, without any distinction of color, caste, race. The day had come about through the inimitable sacrifices of thousands of my people whose sufferings and courage can never be counted and repaid. I felt that day, as I have and so many other days, that I was simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before me. That long and noble line ended and now began again with me. I was pained that I was not able to thank them, and that they were not able to see what their sacrifices had brought. That day means when there was an inauguration of a new democratic government, and how, dear students, how he became the president, how Nelson Mandela became the president through the unimaginable sacrifice of thousands of his people. That means it was because of the unimaginable sacrifice of the thousands of people of his country, people whose sufferings and courage can never be counted or repaid. Their sufferings and courage can never be counted or repaid means the sufferings that they bear during the struggle, the courage that they had shown during the struggle can never be counted or repaid. I felt that day as I have on so many other days. He felt that day, on that day when there was an inauguration of a new government, as I have on so many other days. That what he felt on that day, he felt also on so many other days, that I was simply the sum of. He was merely, simply means, dear students, merely. Simply means merely. Merely the sum of all African patriots who had gone before me. He called himself merely the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before. Patriots means nationalists, dear students. Patriots means nationalists. Who had gone before me means they had sacrificed their lives, they were no more. That long and noble line ended means the African patriots, that means they were no more now, and that long and noble line ended and now began again with me, and it started again with Nelson Mandela. I was pained that I was not able to thank them. I mean, dear students, Nelson Mandela pained means shocked. He was shocked. Nelson Mandela was shocked. Why he was shocked? That he was unable to thank them. He was not able to thank them. That means the African patriots who were no more now, and they were not able to see what their sacrifices are. And they means the African patriots who had gone before him, means they were no more, and they had not seen what their sacrifices had wrought means achieved. What their sacrifices wrought means achieved, and they had not seen means the patriots who were no more, that they had not seen the result of their sacrifices. Thank you.